Now can you hear anything?
Yeah, no, now it's way better, yeah.
Now it's way better. Got the Gucci sweater, drop top in. I'm the man, girlfriend. You trying to play me like I ain't know me, like you ain't show me.
Yeah.
All right, what up? Yeah, we got the sound right. Got the motherfucking drive right. Got the people right. Ready to flow, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Parables from the Projects podcast. I am Mia Hall.
And I am Gordy from Brownsville, baby. What up?
What's up?
Gordy's in the building.
What's up? And we want to welcome y'all to episode 4. Man, thank you for everybody that has been listening. At least on, our main account, we see that we have 91 downloads. So when we get to 100, we are going to celebrate. But I always like to say, if you like the episode, make sure that you write a review and make sure that you share this with a friend. We love when you either post a link on Facebook or on Twitter or, screenshot it and on your phone and share it on your Instagram or Facebook story. So share, spread the word, and thank you again for your support, man.
That sounds really nice of you, Mia. You really sound like a well-raised young lady. I mean, I would have said it a lot different, but you sound like somebody raised you right. It must have been your mama because your daddy didn't do a really great job.
Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Audrey. Audrey Hall did it all.
Did it? No. I came in and, kind of put a Band-Aid on a kneecap, but I did not do the hospitalization or the mentality of my Mia Hall. Ow. I did not do the motherfucking fixation of the extractation of the hoodation. Like, you could have grew up like this real ghetto ass girl. You could have been like, yeah, this is Mia Hall at my phone. You could have been, and you just decided like, yo, I'm going to be in the hood, but I ain't going to be of the hood. Bow! Another Bible scripture, y'all. Parables from the Projects, baby.
I hear you. I feel you. All right, so
what we got? Hot topics. What we do first, baby? Let's get this shit. Let's get this thing rolling. Sorry, man, people.
Yes.
Work in progress.
We do what's going on. So what's going on?
Oh, what's going on? Freaking work is going on. Work. So my summer work is kind of fly, and then it's kind of only thing about it. I think I gotta start taking the train, man, because the summer work is fly because you get to relax a little bit. You can sit there and do some real work, get some spend some of the school's money on some of the things the school needs. But you do got to get up and you do got to drive to work. And you do got to it's still a little hustle and bustle. Now I know I'm not complaining though. I'm not complaining. I really love it at this time because the weather's nice, man. And you chill at the job. Get your work done, leave a little late because it's summertime, stop at a bar on the way home, get a little drink, don't overdo it. I mean, everybody going to do that, but that's what your boy do. That's what your boy do. Your boy going to live the life. So work is going on, and what else is going on? Janae is going on.
Janae was together. Y'all went to a little pool.
Yeah, I'm about to tell that. Me and Janae hung out. So Janae, coming from church, I go pick up Janae, and we go to Long Island, go to Uwe House. Shout out to Big Doreen and my man, my best friend Uwe. Janae had a ball. Me, then Kiana came out there, but Janae and Kylie was out there in the pool. They was having a ball, Doreen's really hospitable. She's the most hospitable person you want to know.
Yes. That's a fact.
So it was crazy. It was crazy because all the way there, Janae was like, yo, stop at Burger King, stop. I was like, no, Janae, you took too long to get dressed. We ain't stopping. And we get out there, all she wanted was a burger, and all Doreen had was one burger with one bun. Didn't even have no more buns. That's crazy. Word up. Yeah, that was bananas. So that was cool. We hung out that day. I dropped her off. She went in the house. Yeah. So it was a good day with Janae. It's kind of like what's on that Ice Cube record? Today was a good day.
I had to say today.
Anyway, today was a good day. But that was Saturday, wasn't it? What day was that? Saturday.
That's Sunday. You said he went after church.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, this weekend was cool for me. I did go to church on some service. They doing a service on marriage now. I know that, I don't have anybody that I'm going to marry yet, but, they're doing a series on marriage all month long. I'm reading a book, 31 Prayers for My Future Husband, all month long. Just being prepared. And also I got to see my friend in Vegas this weekend. And guess what I ran into?
Big Miles.
Oh, I did run into Miles. Yes.
I saw the picture of you and Miles. Hey, we'll give shout out to Shonda, Miles. Bam, 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 bam.
Yes, big shouts to the famo.
The Max.
Yes, he was out there working hard. Yes, we're going to get to the people that I know. But, it was good to see him, for sure. That's my Brooklyn.
So who you ran into? You saw Patrick Ewing.
No, Pat Riley. So Pat
But I never liked Pat Riley. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh. It was fine. Well, maybe it wasn't that eventful, but either way, got to go to
it's cool that you saw him. He was a Knicks coach, so we can't get mad at him. I'm mad at him, so I can't hate. He was a Knicks coach. He did win some games, but I got
Jeff Van Gundy at least got us the Eastern Conference.
Jeff Van Gundy was Jeff Van Gundy. I don't care. He ain't look like no coach, and he coached. He cared about his players, man, all of them on the bench, not just the stars. So Pat Riley only plays the stars. Everybody knows that. So anyway. Pat, you cool, but you're not with me. That's all.
But, more importantly, I saw Miles and I saw my friends Katrina and a lot of sports peeps. From back in my sports days. So it was cool. And shout out to NBA Summer League. Shout out to Matt, who got me some tickets. So it was fun. It was fun. But yes, now back to the parables that we are presenting from the projects. But, more importantly, I saw Miles and I saw my friends Katrina and a lot of... So the last time we were on, you were talking about pink houses and, kind of how that's where everything began for you. And we were talking about, packing bags, but also packing meat and packing coffee and selling it to the, ladies in the neighborhood, and how that turned into picking pockets after you saw, your mans and them doing it and making bank. But a lot of people in pink houses started hating, and it started getting hot, man. It's just like you had to come in at different times of the night and all of that, so it was like getting kind of difficult to move around living in pink houses. But thankfully, like you talk about angels in the outfield, your mom came home and said,
"You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bear Land."
Right.
Yo, now my mom packed up and was like, "Yo, we out."
You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
Now, I didn't understand Flatbush, but Flatbush was a gold mine for type dudes like me, like for boosting, credit cards, picking pockets. It was a gold mine. I can't front because it was like different nationalities out there. So it was Chinese, Jamaican, Haitian. It was all types of white people. Flatbush had everybody, and I know I'm from East, and all I saw was black people. I can tell you, I would have argued, I would have bet fucking money that it was more black people than white people until I was 29 or something in my head, And now that we've been somewhere, like, I'm telling y'all, we are nowhere near the majority. So anyway, yeah. So but Flatbush was a gold mine, and I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna go into Flatbush now, but we're gonna have to bounce back to the pink houses, man, because pink houses was a lot, man. That's a lot of foundation, man. That's a lot of building. 5% powerful, all bar, the champion. It's a lot. My friends flipping all types of stuff. So, but anyway, but moving to Flatbush, it's just like the people had more money. You know, it seems like you ran into more money right outside your house. Like, we lived on East 98th Street, 21st Street, and all the stores was, like, owned by these Jews. But Jews, I hope they don't come crash the podcast for this, but Jews would let me use a credit card, and I was 15. And the name on the card would be Chin Lu Woo, some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I was using credit cards at 15. Yeah, at 16. I was using credit cards. I was getting women's shoes, men's shoes. I was doing all that shit. I had that shit on lock.
Okay, now let me pause real quick. So this is like, I'm gonna edit this part out, but I know that last time, like, when I was like coming in and interjecting, you know what I mean? It seems like I'm trying to like cut your story off, but I'm not trying to cut the story off. I'm trying to just like make
guide
the
story.
conversation. Yeah. Trying to guide the story.
Right,
yeah.
but this is the thing about that, right? Here go the thing. We don't know what's gonna catch. So I can see if we had if there was somebody out there. So like, I'm gonna argue. Anytime me and you, this is what we're not gonna stop. But anytime me and you have a difference of opinion about something, we're gonna pull up the facts that support that opinion. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't wanna, this gonna be so fly. Cause let me tell you something. It's gonna play well on the tape. Like, cause there's a dynamic. You still my daughter, but you this smart old ghetto. You know, you got just as much, you know, skin as I do. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but listen. So whenever you say something, you're gonna grab followers. Like, whenever you interject, and even if I get mad, or even if I change this, if I say, yo, no, I'm going to still talk about that, you're going to get followers. You understand what I'm trying to say? So our story and us being on there together is going to create this father and daughter thing between other fathers and daughters. And we can't always be, oh, kumbaya. You know what I'm saying? Because can you imagine fathers and daughters in real life? They don't get along sometimes, especially when girls get older and start wearing little shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind the banner, the back and forth sometimes. I think that shit all got to play into the thing. Now, what's going to happen is the story's still going to get out. But say if you don't like something or I don't like something, we can't say nothing. We can't say nothing. Or we can say something, but just be ready for the other one, you know.
To disagree.
Facts.
Right.
Or facts. Or, you know, you build your case. We have an argument on the figures. You stop the show, and we have an argument. What we want is realness. And the real part about me is there's no way there might be in our 20th or 30th episode that, you know, we developed this great format and this great camaraderie, and we developed that thing you're looking for. But right now, we're just trying to get the stories out. We're trying to get, like you said, but we don't want to lose the authenticity of it. The authenticity of it is that we are from this place, and like even when I say like oh yeah, you said that, well, it's crazy because you got a best of like 5 different worlds. Like, that's crazy. Like, you grew up without a dad. I mean, you got the 6 without a dad. Then your dad was totally in your life, but never really lived with your dad. So you got this crazy dynamic that other kids have, and who knows how you speak to your dad? You know, I think it's just we just don't stop. I'm gonna tell you, today I was thinking last night I was thinking about, like, we literally said we gave ourselves an 8-year plan, and it's damn near 16 years later. You hear me?
Yeah.
Now, it ain't 16 years, but we gave ourselves an 8-year plan, and it's like 15 years later, right?
Right.
It's more than 10 years later. And we just
about
did
10 years,
a podcast. Yeah. We should have 3 movies, books. So what I'm saying is don't stop. Just fuck it. If we get an hour of me, or whatever we get an hour of or 20 minutes of, that's what we put out there. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, I live on the first floor, and these niggas play dominoes. Oh, sorry. Come on. Let's get back to it. But they play dominoes in front of my window now. Yeah, they be right there, and they be making all that noise. I'm like, yo, it's cool to see the brothers in the neighborhood together and playing your little dominoes, but my window is right there. Anyway, come on, let's get it. So you understand? So do you got anything to say now?
No, I'm kidding. Huh?
Am I gonna do what?
No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. The joke, Dad. The joke.
Rowdies.
These are no, but you know what though? That's what they talk about. Like that's the difference. Like like when it's a community or like when it's when you're not trying to be when you're not trying to colonize, basically when you're not trying to be a colonizer, like you'll talk directly to the people. You won't just call the police. Like you'll talk to them and be like, oh, like, hey, can y'all move over here? Or or I don't know how you're gonna handle that, but but you're not gonna call the cops. But that's
right.
what I read this whole thing about.
Right.
That.
Who would to call? That's innocent. They call the cops, like motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like no, talk to me, like what I mean, like we'll work out an agreement or something like.
Call the kid. Then the girl going to the pool, like let's see if they was like, if it was smoking weed, or these niggas is just playing domino. Like I'm not gonna call the fucking cops, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think all of this shit needed to be in that shit. Well, I think that's how you create other followers. Like motherfuckers just want to hear a nigga talk some shit. Like you always gonna get the people that want to hear the end of the story. And then remember we left a cliffhanger. The end of that last episode, I said, all right, tune in next episode for the finish of, I guess it was the move to Flatbush.
Yeah.
Jump in whenever you hear something. You can even tell a story that you remember in your life where it's almost mirroring the story, but just in a more calmer environment. Yeah. So people can really understand that, the Bible, that's everywhere. It's like yeah, I was in the streets, but I was in school going through whatever, or whatever, or you was on the corner, you and my crazy friends, or you can definitely bring up
Robin,
my girl, Rob. How the fuck you know I'm talking about Robin? Wow, that's exactly what I was talking about.
We was both growing up in pink houses.
I never knew that. So I thought Robin was from Queens.
We both moved to Queens, like 20 minutes away from each other.
Get the fuck out of here. I never knew that. How I never knew that?
I don't know. Probably because you only met her when she came to Queens for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She ain't come to none of the trips because, we took pink houses out.
Right.
She wasn't even down back then. Wow.
Right.
I came to pink houses. The Lexus Jeep pulled up there first.
Yeah. But by the time you had the Lexus Jeep, I think I was back in Brooklyn though. But she was still around. That was my best friend. But that's when you came. Oh, but I was living in Brooklyn. That's what happened. I was living in I moved back to Brooklyn. That's when I moved to Clinton Hill, and she was still in Queens. Because remember we went to Skate Key. Remember when we went up?
Yeah, Skate Key. Scary ass place. Hood ass place, man.
Oh boy.
I was like, I'm never bringing the kids out here again. It was nice skating, but then we went to that party next to the skating ring. That's what she looked.
And the girls was trying to dance on you.
The girl was trying to dance on me, right?
Yeah. I was in the club. They danced a little bit. So, but in Flatbush, y'all didn't even live in the projects, right? Look, we talking about Flatbush projects.
That's what I'm saying. I never really stayed in Flatbush. That's what I said when I got to.
But you stayed in.
I said.
That was your cliffhanger.
I moved to Flatbush, but that's when I lived in Brownsville with Rock and Apple.
Right, and that's what you said.
Then Darren went to jail. Cerise moved to California. And my mom's moved to California, and I went to a group home, and my mom just moved. So Flatbush never really was like. So we was living out there for a little while, like probably a year or two, but Flatbush never really stuck with us. And even when let's talk about it.
Yeah.
We went on that time. We had a whole podcast just now.
Yeah.
So ready, let's start from this point. What are we gonna take two? Yeah. So I was so the Jews so this one I was about to say that I didn't want the Jews to get mad, but y'all was letting me use credit cards when I was 15.
Like the Jewish stores that I went to, at least. Yeah,
Right, the Jewish stores that I went to, right. They was in there, and I would be like, I'll be
politically correct.
Yeah, not all Jews.
Right.
Yes. So look, but so when I hustled, I used to get a lot of credit cards because I was a pickpocket, but I used to use the credit cards actually. But I would go in there and I would get me 10 pairs, not 10 pairs, maybe 5 pairs of shoes. And then I would go to them leather stores on Delancey Street and get me like 2 leather jackets, but I'd give them the card. And they would give me the 2 coats, and they probably would charge up thousands. I never knew how much money you could charge on cards, but back then, you know, I was a kid. I was just, you know, learning the game. Anyway, you see the people now people use credit cards for buy cars and mail them to other countries. Now the scams got so crazy. But anyway, so yeah, Flatbush was a gold mine. That gave me all the hood credit I needed, because now I was living in Flatbush but staying in Brownsville. Like, I never really, you know, hung out on the corners in Flatbush. I just lived there. So I would go to Brownsville, because me and this dude named Webb used to live in Flatbush. So me and him would go to Brownsville. We would come back to Flatbush late, probably 2 o'clock in the morning. But we would go to Brownsville and Bed-Stuy and hang out on the corner of Notion Avenue. Notion and Fulton. Yep, we used to be right on the corner, down the block, kind of.
But
and
now,
then it was a zoo.
But how did you meet Webb? Because we see, like, Rock you met through, like, his cousin or something like that. I feel like they're two integral parts of your story, and I feel like we need to know, like, their origin. How did you meet them both?
You felt that? So should I tell? So whenever I mention another guy, I should stop and say where I met them?
No, but
or who they was at least.
Rock, I feel like, and I don't even know if we should be saying their full names, but I mean, hey, we did it.
Yeah, I done said way too many names already. But anyway, shoot.
We're here now.
I don't know. I be wanting to give dudes shout. I always say that, you know, why, like, you know, like you grew up, like even, not to say nothing against the big stars, but the big stars grew up somewhere. And you never hear, only you hear a few of them talk about, you know, the people they grew up around. Like I said T, I said Shamel, B, you know, these guys was real important and I should try to, you know, kind of explain their whole role, you know, in my life, because every dude I met or every girl I met played a different role in my life, because it got me the way I'm at now. But so Webb, anyways, let's break down Webb. Webb is the greatest. That's what I call him. And everybody would say the same thing if they wasn't haters. So yeah, you're right. So how would I say a name? Because I'm about to say he's the greatest pickpocket ever.
But I mean,
yeah, you're right, baby.
It's in the past. It's in the past. He did, right? He like.
I hope. Nah. Nah, it's in the past.
Oh, God.
So Webb, anyway, I met Webb like this. So that's funny that you say Webb. I mean, funny that you say to break it down, because Webb, actually, I met him in Pink House. Powerful is what brought the bridge between Pink Houses and Brownsville, you know, and Bed-Stuy, because Powerful had young dudes from, like, Brownsville and Bed-Stuy come to Pink Houses, like when I was hustling. So, but I was like the only dude hustling. Pink Houses was known for fighting, so they was the best boxers, the best 52 block. I mean, I know other towns is gonna say it, but they Cypress Hills before all them dudes got all them guns. Anyway, they know Pink Houses. We had Big Wise Road. Anyway, we ain't gonna talk about it, but we gonna talk about it a little bit. But anyway, Pink Houses was known for the fighting. They wasn't really known for hustling and getting a lot of money until the late 70s, you know. And they was known for a lot of beating people up, which I never really learned how to do well. So Powerful, Webb used to hang out with Powerful a little bit, so I knew Powerful. You know, Powerful raised all of us in Pink House. I mean, that, you know, he kind of made you the man. Like, yo, don't be a punk, all that shit. Learn to fight. He throw his hands up, you know, punch you in the chest or something. Big Wise. All the dudes used to teach you how to fight. But anyway, so Webb came through one day. And me and him, Powerful, left him in the gym. And, you know, I was in there playing basketball. You know, I really wasn't a good player, but there was nobody in the gym. I was probably helping Mr. Jones out, and Webb was in it. So me and Webb started playing one-on-one. That's how we met. But I didn't really, and Webb was kind of already established hustling dude. I was just getting my feet wet in the game. But, so then fast forward like 10 years later, I'm in Flatbush, and Webb is living in Flatbush. His mom must have moved from Brownsville to Flatbush too, like to get a better, you know, into an apartment. So Webb lived in an apartment in Flatbush, me too. So both of us moved out of a project and into some apartments, but we stayed in Brownsville. And then when we knew each other lived like right around the corner from each other, we used to hang out, hustle out there. And we probably grossed the most one summer, like gross. But anyway, we hustled hard. So I knew Webb and Rock. automatically before I even started hanging out in Brownsville. So then me and Wib used to come to Brownsville because his sisters. Because Wib was from Brownsville originally, but I was from Pinkhouse. But we used to hang out so hard in Flatbush when we used to go to Brownsville together. And I knew Rock, but then I ran into after this dude named Winky. And then I met a lot of people in Brownsville. So then I knew this was like 78. So this is when I really started hanging out with Brownsville dudes. So Brownsville dudes is already known for all they stuff. So but Pink Houses, motherfuckers knew a little something too. But Brownsville thing, you want to say something?
No, I was gonna say that. So that's how you met with, and basically, So
I met with in Pink Houses, but we took the most money I think recorded back in the 70s in Flatbush, like we owned the motherfucking food stands, but yeah. So we did so well together, that we became real good friends. I knew his mom. I used to bring, even when I stopped, I used to bring my kids to his mother's house without. Look, my kids, your ass. You, man. You remember going to the Flatbush apartment? That lady fed us the white rice and like liver or some shit. Anyway, yeah, y'all was kids. I brought like 6 of y'all out there, but anyway, yeah. So that's how I met Wib. So anyway. Now, where was we at with Wib? Now, where was we at with Wib that you took up?
Because you were saying that, you moved to Flatbush, but, you and Wib were hanging out in Brownsville for the most part.
Right. So, okay. So for the most part, we were hanging out in Brownsville. And that's where I met, really, Wib is really where I met almost everybody else in Brownsville. Like, me and Wib used to come through. They used to be like, who the new dude, even though I was an old dude from, Pink Houses, but I was like the only little. It was hustles in Pink Houses, but it wasn't nobody like me and my brother. So, and not that they was bad or something, but they just used to do other type of hustles, but wasn't no pickpockets,
Mhm.
And no credit card, no fly.
So from here, right? Boom, you were in Pink Houses. This is where you learned how to, pickpocket. Then you moved to Flatbush, and it really.
But I don't know if I want to say it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I just want to so it wasn't, I'm trying to think, it is where I picked it up, but where I learned it, I guess I started there. But where I learned was in Brownsville. Like, I learned in Flatbush. I was living in Flatbush, but I really learned.
You built your skill. It's like Pink Houses was pickpocketing elementary school or high school, and then when you got to Brownsville and Flatbush, it was like you went to pickpocketing college.
I don't want to say it like that neither, but you're right. If you was the president, I'm like, would you say when I was a lawyer, I was in high school, and then when I came to president, I was in like college? I don't know. Anyway, let's move away from that. All right, so why are we stopping there? So
no, because I wanted
we both good pickpockets.
Because I want to translate it for people like me that just want to understand it. Like I'm trying to process it myself. You know what I mean? Like if that's not the comparison, then then what is it? What is it more like to you? But this is how I'm processing it, and if I'm not processing it correctly, then you let me know. But if it's comparable, then let me know.
First of all, I don't know what comparable means.
I thought you were going to say, first of all,
you throwing too many big words at me. You and your man can get it. Now that's all.
Pickpocket in college. So that's going to be the name of this podcast, Pickpocket in college. But so
it's kind of deeper. Yeah. All right, so we can use it for a little bit. It would have to be Harvard. Where me and Wib was the Harvard or the upper
the Harvard of pickpocketing.
That's why I don't want to use schools, because I don't think it takes more than just the know-how. Like, you got to have some type of heart to go in somebody's shit and think they're not going to notice you in their shit. But anyway, and it takes a lot of skill and patience. So it's like, that shit is an art. And I know I'm saying that shit like it's art. And I'm going to tell you something, right? People who pickpocket got to have something in them to stop. Like, it's got to be some type of spiritual awakening. It can't be just like you got busted and stop. You got to start loving people. You feel a consciousness for other people. Why? And like, you got to lose something maybe. Like, you ever lose something, then you know why why some people get so mad at people who rob people? Like yo, so what? It's the government robbing. Like, yeah, but when you, like, if you have, anyway, see, that's why we can't, because there's a lot that'll go into that. So I know what you mean. I know people got to understand on, yeah, picking pockets, like you saying that, like that's a normal, like I'm saying it like it's a normal thing, and people need to understand, like, what the hell you mean you was picking pockets? Is that a real thing? And, like, you got to watch this movie. I'm going to recommend a movie so that you can get a little understanding of picking pockets. Harry in Your Pocket. No,
oh,
Harry.
Yeah.
Will Smith. Oh, Will Smith did a new movie. He did a new Harry in Your Pocket, but it was corny. But you got to watch Harry in Your Pocket to understand what me and Wib was doing. Now, you could say some regular pickpockets do, but it's this movie called Harry in Your Pocket. Anyway, it was crazy inspiration for us back in the 70s. but yeah. Anyway, so I meet everybody in Brownsville. So now I'm in it. Now I'm in the streets. Everybody know my name. I go back to pink houses with Brownsville niggas, and this is my thing about how dudes are. So not my closest friends, but a lot of the dudes that was hoping I got robbed that day back in the days when they went and got the dude and said it was his mother, which I knew. Me and that dude became real good friends in Brownsville. I don't even think I had to tell him about the story because it was so long after that, even though he probably knew. I don't know if he knew or not. But I didn't have no animosity about it because I was a kid. And, I should have, went for mine or whatever. But, anyway. But it's about, like, who you think your friends is. Like, all these kids, they join these gangs, and who you think your friends are ain't your friends, dog. I mean, you got to get in a situation to know your friends. Like you got to get in situations to know who your true friends are. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to knock nobody for this is my man, but it could be your man, but when shit hit the fan, like shit gotta hit a fan. Anyway, so yeah, see, cause my friends flipped on me, man. These dudes, and then we had like projects, like Brownsville, Pink House, and Cypress. Linden, everybody had their own crew. So I'm in Flatbush, getting a little name for myself, and I'm going to tell you, the name ain't like it's on TV like rappers now. When I say name for myself, in the hustling circle, there's a small circle compared to the rest of the world. Like we don't even care about the rest of the world. It's like hustlers from each town. We meet on 42nd. Yeah, so we had our own little community. I was famous amongst that community, which I'm not saying, I'm just using famous as the word. I'm not saying I was freaking famous people. So I'm just trying to say, like amongst hustlers at this era in Brooklyn, and it was like this dude named Ziggy from Manhattan, but it was a lot of dudes from Manhattan hustling. And, we all just used to, we would meet like on Delancey Street, on 42nd Street, 34th Street was a big area. Girl hustlers used to be on the corner. It was like It was crazy, but you would get knocked a lot. You get a couple of arrests, and after you get a couple of arrests, you go to jail. You do time. Like I went to spot for like 10 times. That's a juvenile jail. So, but by then I was already in it. You do like a month or two, and then you'll get a probation or something. But then it got you get a lot of arrests. You're gonna wind up doing a lot of time. So I wound up going to a group home, but then I wound up getting sentenced to like a 1 and 3 when I was a kid because I had like 7 open cases, but they wanted to save me, so this lady came and gave me another program, and this man gave me another program because my mom used to be in court all the time. So this dude stepped up to the judge and was like, yeah, I got this new program. I think it was DFY. It was a part of DFY. DFY is probably an old program, but DFY, had another program. I don't know if it was new, but like it was called Urban Group Home 11. So they was helping kids that was due to go to this Gosha place, like a lockup, like Spofford did, like a lockup like Spofford, but Spofford was like a detaining place for anything, and then they would send you to this lockup upstate. Tryon, I think it was Tryon, and not Tryon. Yeah, I think it was Tryon and this other. Anyway, so this guy stepped in and helped me. Wanted to help my moms get me into this program. So what they got me into a group home, and they said if I do good in 6 months, I will be able to get out in 6 months instead of doing a year and a half. That is going to be on the next episode because the group home, it was in Huntington, and and not that I just went after white people, but it was the malls out there was white. I went to a white high school, but anyway, we're going to talk about that in the next episode. I hope you enjoy this one. But we got a lot to unpack. And trust and believe, we're going to go back up on some of these stories so you can get a breakdown of who's who and what's what. So I know I can understand where my daughter's trying to come from, because I'm talking like she was with me when we was hustling, but she was not even born. She got to know, and I didn't do it when she met me. So I was a whole different character. I was going to church, and I wasn't even littering on the ground. I used to have the kids in the car. Somebody threw something out the window, they would have to get out the car and go get it. I don't care if it was a little piece of gum or what it was. And if they spit, they would have to step on it so people would look at their neck. Anyway, what I'm saying is that, listen, when she met me, I was a totally different person. So I keep talking like people really understand the game or what was going through kids' mind while they was hustling. But what I'm trying to get is that what we trying to get to is that it's like a parable, because like you go through some stuff as a kid, but if you get older, you know, you leave that stuff alone and you can live a normal life. Like you don't gotta live by what you grew up on. Whether you had a father, no father, whether you did drugs or no drugs, you know, I did drugs. So yeah, so the stories is gonna get realer and realer every year we get in it. I mean every year, every episode. Just stay tuned for the next episode. Good. Even as a kid, good. Babe.
Yeah, even as a kid, you know, you don't have to do it. Or honestly, I mean, like if we're raising kids, you know what I mean? Like, so you did that as a kid, but when you raised your kid, you made sure that she was inspired not to do it, you know? Like,
yo, and the funny thing about it, like, I would have probably, if you would have went hustling, I'd have probably been down. I'd have probably been just telling him, yo, you know you're just going to go to jail. But I don't think, at that time, I don't think I would have stopped nobody, because I didn't want, like, ain't nobody stopped me. And if I wouldn't have went through that shit, I don't think I would have been here like this right now.
So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to today's edition of Parables from the Projects. We do have a person of the week, Mama Geraldine, my grandmother, my dad's mom. If it wasn't for her, none of us would be here. So shout out to you in heaven. Rest in peace, Grandma. But yes, before we go, I also always want to say, like always, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast, share it with a friend or two, and of course, share it on social media. Take a screenshot. You can share it on your Facebook or Instagram stories. Share it on Twitter. Share it on YouTube. Man, we're all across, you know, all the platforms.
All right, y'all. We got a lot of discussing to do. Got to work out some kinks, cranks. But
all right.
Gonna get you some.
So, yes, everybody, thank you for listening to Parables from the Projects. I'm Mia Hall. That's Gordy.
And
you can follow us at Mia_Hall19 and at GorgeousGordy9 on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. And you can also find the podcast at MiaHall19.com/podcast. Like we said, we'll see you on episode 5, where, you know, we're going to talk about the group home.
Peace out, everybody. Have a great night. Summertime, y'all. Just remember, 2 miles an hour so everybody sees you. Slow down, everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. Slow down, baby. It's summertime. Let's not get caught in that summer mix.
Speaking of summer mixes, just wanted to let you know that the tunes played throughout this podcast, other than the intro, were from Fats the Man. So shout out to Fats the Man, letting us use his record, No Patience. Y'all check him out, download him on iTunes. He got some fire on there.
Can't wait, I need my plate.